Hi, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Texans. Randy McElvoy here live outside of NRG Stadium. The day after a win, a nail-biting win over the Buffalo Bills, but we are here to talk about it. To my left, Texans insider, ClickToHouston.com, Aaron Wilson. To my right, Brian Bearfield, also known as Big Sarge. How you doing, Big Sarge?
I am fantabulous.
Hey, guys, we got a lot over the next 30 minutes. We do this every Monday, the breakdown day, if you will, on Monday. And, man, you go back and, yeah, was it a pretty win? No, but it was enough to get that W. D'Amico Ryan's hit on it, and they all said, hey, man, in the NFL, you get it however you can get it. You clean up mistakes and try to correct them for the following week.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying this since the Chicago game, the Jacksonville game, and now I'm saying it, after the game on yesterday against the Buffalo Bills, that they can't all be pretty. They can't all be pretty. And in the win-loss column, it doesn't have anything in the parentheses that says ugly win, ugly loss, pretty loss. And
you take them.
Right. So however you get them, you have to take them. And I like that they're getting them now and they're toughing out these wins right now, because last year we seen that, when they played against the Carolina Panthers, they weren't able to get those type of games. Against the Atlanta Falcons, they weren't able to get those type of games. So you use it now as a building block to get to where you want to go to that next level, because the rest of the AFC is starting to get better as well. So you get these games out of the way so you can get to the top.
What do you think, Aaron?
It's a sign of progress, Randy and Sarge, because when you can win and be a resilient team and you can do things like this when you don't have your A game, it's a sign that you have a talented roster and that you're mentally tough. These are just a lot of intangible qualities we're seeing from the Texans. And the ability to stick with a game plan like they did against Josh Allen. I mean, this was a historically bad performance by Josh. You have to go back to Stan Gelbo in 1992 when he was 9 for 31 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
131 yards, 9 for 30, 56 rating.
I mean, we're talking 3 decades of football. Historically futile performance, and Josh is an MVP candidate. So, hey, defense looks pretty good.
All right, let's talk. We're going to dive in because I've got some questions about the use of the running backs, how they did that. You lost Nico, things were affected, so on and so forth. Azeez Al-Shaair played his one of his best outings of the season after he was hospitalized the day before. Yes. So we're going to get into that. But let's first honor the hero, if you will, at the end of the game. That would be Kaimi Fairbairn. Here's the call from Texans voice Mark Vandermeer.
Here's the snap by Weeks. The spot. Here's the kick by Fairbairn. Has the distance, and it's good! Fairbairn wins it at the buzzer! The Texans beat the Bills!
All right, nice call there by Mark Vandermeer. He loves the walk-offs, and man, how clutch is Kaimi Fairbairn? This guy is lights out. You look at what he's done this season. I lost track of how many at 50 and over he's got this season. You guys might know that stat, but it's been a bunch already. Number 1 kicker in the league already?
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Hands down. And I got a chance to speak with punter Tommy Townsend on yesterday, because, he's played with one of the top 5 kickers before with his previous team in the Kansas City Chiefs with Harrison Butker. And you look at, when you look around the league, you hear a lot of talk about Butker. You hear a lot of talk about Avery, who's up in Dallas. You hear a lot, still Justin Tucker, who has set the standard for kickers up in Baltimore. But Kaimi Fairbairn is right there with all of those, and I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. And earlier this season, you remember D'Amico said after a game, this is our MVP. And so with the way that he's been playing, he's keeping the Texans in these games, and hopefully what he's doing now, he doesn't have to keep winning these type of games later on in the season.
He loves the pressure. He's so calm, Aaron, after the game, just laid back. He said, I just took it in. I was locked in. I mean, this guy now, if they're 55 out or maybe up to 60, I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good about the chances here.
Yeah, he's zen-like in his focus.
He really is.
Yeah. I think Kaimi, and he's someone that's very relaxed, very calm. That's the demeanor you want from a kicker. He has all those qualities along with the strong leg.
Yeah.
And he is the most accurate kicker in the NFL in the past 2 seasons. That's why he got a new contract. Great contract for Nick Caserio, very wise investment. And if you're going to go to the playoffs, you better pack a good kicker in your inventory. And that's what Kaimi Fairbairn is. I mean, 59 yards. He got 61 yards. That thing would have went through. It would have been 63
distance,
easily.
Yeah.
And just dead on. And occasionally the only thing on him is sometimes he gets a tight hip flexor or a groin injury. Sometimes late in the season. Hopefully if he stays healthy this whole season,
look out.
They have an all-pro type of kicker.
All right, listen in now. Here's a little bit of Kaimi Fairbairn for a couple of minutes at the podium on Sunday.
Kaimi, today you became the franchise as his all-time leading scorer with that 47-yard kick. Just for your overall thoughts, being with this organization for as long, seeing the way this team has gone through the rebuilding stages and now where it's at now, culmination of where your emotions kind of are.
It's a special one. I don't take it lightly. One guy I definitely have to shout out is John Weeks. He's been with me every step of the way, every single snap. So he's just a part of that. I'm very thankful for him, and then all my teammates. A stat like that doesn't happen without everybody involved. Offense, defense, special teams, and everybody coming together and getting those points. But I'm happy. It's incredible. I'm honored to be here for this long, and I'm hoping to score a lot more. I only can speak for myself, but I love the opportunities like that, especially when it's coming down to it, and you just you know it's going to happen, whatever yardage it is. I really don't care. I want that shot, and I think that's part of being good at this job is wanting that opportunity, and I look forward to them. It's honestly, I kind of just read the game as it is, as it flows, and the last minute of the game is insane if you really look back at it. We get that penalty, and then we move back, then we punt. Tommy has a great punt, pins him down, and then we go 3 and out, get the ball, and then at that point I'm just like, okay, we have 16 seconds. We maybe need 5 yards or something like that. We get the 5, and then just let it rip. It was wild. When we punted that ball, and we got that first stop after their first, I think it was he was incomplete or something like that. I went back to my net because I was like, I'm just gonna stay locked in just in case, because this game's crazy, So, I stayed locked in, and what happened.
Okay, obviously the last time you brought up John Weeks and the impact that he's had on your career, just his overall demeanor and the conversation that you have, how does he keep you mentally prepared for these type of moments, and also common situations when the team is trusting you to go out there and make the big time play?
Yeah, he's just been a really good friend, first of all, and then he's just Mr. Reliable. Every day he's here working. It's a thankless job. But he's been doing it a long time, and he's very good at it. So, I'm grateful for him.
All right, good stuff there from Ka'imi Fairbairn, giving a lot of credit to guys like John Weeks and really taking into the fact that now he is the all-time leading scorer for this football team. You're seeing the final numbers now from this football game. Again, 23-20, that's all that matters. They get the win. Great numbers from C.J. Stroud. Stefon Diggs also targeted, I believe, 8 times, if I'm correct on that. 6 catches for just over 80 yards. And, of course, Nico, just 2 catches, but he had that big touchdown before he had to leave with the injury. Now, guys, before we hear from D'Amico Ryans, let's talk first about the injury. Nico Collins, how concerning that is with the hamstring re-aggravated. You never know with hamstrings, but after that touchdown, he felt something. He knew something wasn't right after a trip to the tent. He was on to the locker room, never returned.
Yeah, and that was a huge blow to that Texans offense, especially when you not only lose your number 1 wide receiver, but you lose the number 1 wide receiver as far as receiving yards is concerned in the NFL. And it looks like they had to do a little shifting on the offensive end. But this is an injury that he had been dealing with, I think, throughout the entire weekend. It's funny because you hurt yourself scoring a touchdown. You hurt yourself at top speed, and you that's one of the things. If you're going to hurt yourself, that's what you want to do. But the one thing that I really liked about that play was it was an explosive play that the Texans offense has been looking for within the first 4 weeks, and to finally get that, but to lose Nico, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's a big difference. Bills took advantage of that too. When Nico went down, offense started to struggle because running game really wasn't doing much. They weren't feeding Cam Akers, I don't think, enough. We'll talk about that. That's another topic. But they lost Nico. But what do you think? Is it way too early to know possibilities until they kind of sees how it feels this week?
Well, we got to see how it calms down a little bit, Randy. But there's initial optimism that he could even play as soon as this week. Whether they choose to play him is another matter, because it is the Patriots and it's a team that perhaps you could beat without Nico Collins. Everything I heard yesterday from sources is that this is not a serious injury or any kind of major setback. It is a minor strain and tightness, and he had that before and was able to play. I would say with Nico, you'll see him sooner rather than later. If he doesn't play this week, I would say for sure back the following week. So gotta dodge the bullet with this. It's a minor hamstring injury, not one of these ones where he's going to be out for an extended period.
Let's talk about the running game again before we get to D'Amico. Hopefully he'll dress it. Maybe he did a little bit yesterday. I didn't see the transcripts, but the situation, I mean, Dare got, I believe, 15 carries out of the backfield. He got almost double, close to double almost what Cam Akers got. I don't understand that. Why is Akers not getting more carries, being your main guy? He was limited to 9 carries.
Because I feel like what they can do more with Dare, being that he is a running back who can run between the tackles, but he's also very good out of the backfield, and he's a very good blocker.
Yeah.
And so you have him, you have him on the field. Someone who also knows this system, was in this system last year. So you look at him; he's a running back that can do multi things when he's on the field. And Cam Akers, a guy who worked his way back into the NFL, still learning this system, even though he's familiar with it. He's still learning it, and it also looks like he's still getting his footing up on him. I know that he went through training camp preseason, but it still looks like he's getting his footing up on him. So you have to go with a guy in Dare Ugumawale who has been in this system, knows this system, and can be very productive for you while he's on the field.
He did have some catches. I guess I was looking more at numbers like, okay, he's only averaging 2 point something against the Bills, whereas Cam he had the nice touchdown run, but he was running the ball well, effective at least. Yeah.
Right, he only averaged 2 yards a carry. It was 15 runs, 30 yards, and they just kept sticking with it. It was very stubborn, the script at the beginning of the game, and it didn't work. I think there was some recency bias, too, because he did score the game-winning touchdown. And like Sarge said, it's a little less predictable when he's in the game, but now, what's the scouting report going to say? Well, they better throw it to him, not run it, because he's not making a lot of yardage when he's just running the ball. But Cam Akers is clearly, to me, the better pure runner. Between the two of them, they got the job done, but they need Joe Mixon back.
I was going to say, the bottom line, they got to get Mixon back, man, to get any kind of effect. And maybe Pierce as well to back him up. All right, listen in now, a little bit of D'Amico Ryans after that victory yesterday here at NRG Stadium.
Coach, your defense held Josh Allen to 9 of 30. It really did a good job of taking away those quick passing lanes. What was the key to limiting such a dynamic quarterback, and how did the game plan come together to execute that this week?
Yeah, limiting Josh, man, is a great player. It was a tough out for us, but it took a valiant effort from everybody. It was a collective effort. D-line, we knew we weren't going to get many sacks against him because he's so elusive in the pocket. We just had to keep rushing, keep the pressure on him. So they did a great job of keeping the pressure on him, and our back end guys, the way they covered, that was the reason why we played tight coverage, made the plays we needed to make. There was that collective effort of rush and coverage being tied together.
Another game where you guys win it basically at the end. What allows you guys to consistently, since you've been here, even dating back to last year, consistently be able to pull out these close games?
Today, it was just really cool to see our guys make the plays we needed to make in situational football. We stepped up and made the plays at that particular time there at the end of half, being able to get points. Just coming out in the game, the way we ended it, just as a football team. Tommy getting a big punt for us, pinning them there at the 2. Defense standing up, making 3 big stops, and then Rob with his return to get us at midfield. CJ the dart. It was just everybody working together, and that was a big goal for us this week. Is just to help the team. How can you help the team win the game? And our guys were clutch in the critical moments.
Coach, for some of the Texans fans that may not be familiar with Aziz's play history prior to arriving here, many of us would say that was his best game as a Texan. Just what he meant to your effort overall defensively today.
Aziz meant everything to what we did today because Aziz was. People don't know he was sick last night. Didn't know if he was even going to play. So for him, to be as tired as he was, for him to gut it out and play every snap, it was an outstanding performance by him. And I know what he was battling. I know how hard it was for him to push through and play through that game. And man, I got so much respect for Aziz and what he accomplished today.
Talk about Aziz.
If you want to ask me what Aziz said, it's
All right, take a look at the AFC South standings. Texans right now on top. Look at the numbers. They'll gladly take a 4-1 start. Colts lost yesterday, and you see the rest of the guys in the division as well. So here we go. Good shape for the Texans. Still a lot of football left, but we always like to pop that up, show you where the Texans stand right now. Guys, D'Amico just hit on Azeez Al-Shaair and how he showed up to play yesterday, despite going what he went through over the last 24 hours prior to the game. In a hospital, lost weight, was throwing up. He had some kind of, I don't know what was causing all that, but he came out and he played a football game, man. He's a true leader on this Texas defense.
When I look at Azeez Al-Shaair, when we look at the free agent pickups, he is one of the guys that D'Amico hit the nail on the head because he knew him so much. Nick hit the nail on the head by bringing in a leader like that. And to see the performance that he had on yesterday after going through what he went through the night before. I had talked to him previously through the week too. He was really looking forward to this matchup against Josh Allen. It was somebody that he had studied a lot, someone that he knew that they had to contain. And on back-to-back plays yesterday, I feel like if he hadn't went through what he went through as far as being sick the night prior, he would have had an interception right in the middle of the field. And that one play where Josh rolled to the sideline, something that he had did the week previously, and threw the ball back across his body. Azeez has said during the week, we have to be detail-oriented, and so to have him in the game, because if you don't have him, Jake Hansen was out with back, so now you may have Neville Hewitt in as a backup, him and Henry To'oTo'o, but you needed Azeez in that game, and I'm glad that he was able to gut it out and play on Sunday.
About 30 seconds before we go to break. Thoughts on that, on the job Al-Shaair did?
Ray talked to Al-Shaair after the game, and he said he lost 10 pounds. He said he was throwing up. He didn't even want to do an formal interview. He didn't want us too close to him. This guy was absolutely all over the field, and this is what you hope for when you do an expensive off-the-ball linebacker, 3 years, $34 million. You expect a leader, you expect a captain, and a hard hitter. Tough guy, one of the toughest people in this organization.
Yeah, his work ethic certainly rubbing off on that entire defense. Love seeing him out there. I love the number 0 that he wears. He brings that, and I think this will be more of a fan favorite, I think, in the days and weeks ahead. All right, we're going to take a really quick break, probably 60 seconds. We're going to come back. We're going to dive into C.J. Stroud. We'll hear from C.J., also Stefon Diggs, what he thought about facing his former team, the Buffalo Bills. That and much more when Inside the Texans on this Monday at NRG Stadium continues. All right, back live here on Inside the Texans, live outside of NRG Stadium. Brian Bearfield, Big Sarge Sports, also Aaron Wilson, Texans Insider for ClickToHouston.com. All right, guys, we got about 11 minutes left here in the show. Let's get right into C.J. Stroud. And again, with the running game not being great yesterday, forced to throw the football, had to get it done minus one of his big weapons. We got some video of C.J. As we take a look at his day. Again, he made it happen, made the throw today.
Oh, yeah, for sure he made the throw. And it was, uncharacteristic of some of the plays that he made on yesterday, but when it counted, it's always what the players in the locker room say, we can count on number 7. And I think that for as much as other players wanted to get this win for the wide receiver, we'll talk about it in a minute, CJ wanted this win too because he knew that there was a lot of eyes on him going up against a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And so when they needed him, just like against Jacksonville, he came through.
All right, and we'll hear from Stefon Diggs in a few minutes as well, but he was a factor against his former team. His comments were really good. How about the job CJ continues to do? Just consistent, had the one interception and the fumble, but overall, not bad.
Ray, he's done stellar work, and he is off to a historic start. He's only 23 years old. He had his birthday last week. Happy birthday, CJ.
Yep.
When you think about where he is, how poised, how composed he is, he'll shrug off a fumble and an interception. It's uncharacteristic. I thought the intentional grounding call was a bad call by the officials, a little ticky-tack call, but overall, this is a strong performance. They don't win this game without the way CJ played, and that's the case every week. CJ is the solution, not the problem.
Here's C.J. Stroud at the podium after the victory.
Good opportunity, to play against a really tough Buffalo Bills team. But yeah, the first half, went really well. We're moving the ball like we wanted, running the ball. In the second half, man, we weren't not moving the ball. We were just shooting ourselves in the foot again. Just taking penalties. I missed a couple reads on my throws. and had the turnover, the 2 turnovers. So when you play like that, you give them opportunity to come back, and they made some adjustments, started taking away a lot of our passing, but at the same time, like, they weren't taking away everything. I got to be better and just get through my progressions. But all in all, you learn with a dub, and that's the most important thing about it.
CJ, not only were you able to see Kaimi come off with the 59-yard field goal, but today he also became the all-time franchise leader in points scored. Just his impact of this team, and is there a certain trust factor that now everyone kind of expects him to drill these 50-yard-plus field goals and just walk away with an easy win in that sense?
I wouldn't say that. We trust him if we are in that position, but we try to put him in the best opportunity possible, especially I hold myself, to a high standard when it comes to that, and that intentional grounding was, I had no idea why I get it, I guess. I mean, that wasn't necessarily abrupt. Like, I don't think it was that aggressive that I didn't throw it, like, to anybody. But at the same time, I do understand. It is what it is, still got the win. I thought Rob did a great job on the punt return, just getting us something, and then me and Dare just finding a play to get 4 or 5 yards and then bang a timeout. I thought that was huge, man. So it's not all about, one thing about me, I don't try to ride the roller coaster. I know everybody was coming to me, like, trying to juice me up, but honestly, I just try to stay calm, know that I made a mistake. But, it doesn't make me. I thought I played really solid other than those 2 plays. But when you got guys to lean on, like we talked about earlier in the week, just playing complimentary football, Kaimi had my back. The defense had my back. My O-line had my back. Everybody had everybody's back. We had the defense back in the first half. Like, we all play complimentary football. A lot of great things are going to happen for this team.
All right, C.J. Stroud, a little bit of his chat with the media here at NRG Stadium. Calm, cool, collected. I love the way he carries himself and threw the football well, ran the show very well. All right, Nico was out, guys. Stefon Diggs, all the hype, the build-up all week long for him facing his former team. He laid low a little bit during the week, but it really came out after what this victory meant to him.
Yeah, because when he played against Minnesota earlier this season, I don't think that it was as emotional as it was going up against Buffalo, where he had some of his prime years in Buffalo, and it was the relationship ran its course. Yeah. And Stefon wanted to leave. I think that the Buffalo Bills, wanted to oblige him as far as his request is concerned. And so when you leave a situation like that, though, even though you may have asked for it, you build those relationships with people inside of the building. You build that relationship with your teammates. And when you get to a point where you feel like they don't want you around anymore, it kind of makes you kind of emotional. He said on yesterday that he is an emotional type of guy. So this win meant a lot to him. And it's funny because when we talked to him earlier in the week, you could tell he was holding that in and he was containing that, knowing he wanted to really say, hey, I want this game. And I don't think that it was more of revenge for him. I think he just wanted to win.
Yeah, I think, wait and then talk, which he did yesterday. You could tell it all kind of spewed out. This meant a lot to him.
Right. He didn't just wear a jeans jacket. He wore a smile of satisfaction after this game. And a lot of it is just pride and showing, hey, this is what I was able to do for you guys. He saw them not be able to throw the football down the field. They didn't have those receivers like him.
Yeah.
And, they said that a lot of attacks on his character. They're talking about him, calling him a diva, all those things. It's impossible to ignore that when there are that many stories about you. And he's done nothing but disprove them. He's a team captain here. He's been exemplary.
Absolutely. Players love him. His teammates. It's a great locker room. Listen in now. Here's a little bit of Stefon Diggs in the locker room after the win.
We got a dub this week. We want to know. Obviously, playing my old team. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it was just regular. It meant a lot to me, and it was reassuring that the guys around me knew that it meant a lot to me, even if I didn't say it. Because I try to just keep it poised and treat every week like it's the same. You know what I'm saying, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't mean a lot.
It meant a lot. He came in the locker room streaming after the dub. He came about 10 minutes late, but he came in. But it was amazing to get the win for him. We know how bad he wanted it, and we wanted it as bad as he did. So it was great.
It was huge, man. I know he was. He really didn't say nothing all week, but I know today he was a little emotional. Just we wanted to just play well against him. Being his former team, which everybody just like we played JG last year. A couple weeks ago. So it's a lot of emotions that go through that. But he did a good job by just not letting his emotions affect his play, and really I thought he played really great. Was really sound, and I thought he played amazing. So definitely just happy that he's happy with his dub.
Yeah, we were really happy for Diggs. We know how important this win was for him. We know how important this week was for him. Anytime you're going against your old team, like a lot of guys knew we had to get this one for Diggs. Try not to make a big deal out of it throughout the entire week, but we know it. Like, it's emotional. Like, all the great things that he did there, right, as a receiver, as a player, like, he stood out, man, and he made a lot of plays. He helped that team in some critical moments and down the playoff run. So, man, no bigger game for him than this one. And today, for us, man, he made some really big catches on third down to keep drives moving. Like, play after play, Diggs stepped up and made plays. So I'm happy for him that we were able to get this win for him.
All right, good conversation there on Stefon Diggs from his teammates and head coach D'Amico Ryans. Again, 6 catches, 82 yards on 8 targets. A big breakout day for him. He probably would have loved even more, but end of the day, he'll gladly take that W.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's one of the things that when you look at Stefon Diggs, all he ever wants to do and all he's ever done in his career is want to win. That's all he ever wants to do. And if you look at the production that he gave, he came through in the clutch situations and clutch time. He said that he spoke with Nico at halftime, and he spoke with the rest of the team and said that we're going to have to, step it up. We have the depth here, so we can definitely do it. So he wanted that win, and he got that win.
All right, we got about 2.5 minutes. Let's focus now on New England. That's what's next on the schedule. They're going to celebrate this one. It's probably done by now. They're 4-1. Time to get on and focus on the Patriots starting on Sunday. This is a game you're going to Foxborough. Never an easy place to play. As you see, the kickoff will be at 12 noon coming up on Sunday, but they got to go there, take care of business against the team they should be able to dominate.
Gillette Stadium, the Razor's Edge for many years when they had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Not so much anymore with Gerard Mayo and possibly with the rookie quarterback, Drake May. There's some talk about maybe is this the week to insert him instead of Jacoby Brissett. We will be watching that closely all week. Yeah,
they had a loss to the Miami Dolphins, but again, when they're at home, you just don't know. You mentioned the quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, yesterday, 18-34, 160, a couple of sacks. Maybe they want that new spark in his offense, see what they can get going.
Yeah, and when you look at the New England Patriots, they're what the Houston Texans were a couple of years ago, going through this rebuild. And what the Texans can't do, though, is allow this to be a trap game because they play the Green Bay Packers the following week. And so you can't look past the New England Patriots. They're still a formidable team that has some talent on there. They still have, a first-year head coach, but a former player who also wants to get a win, who also is trying to get his footing in the NFL. And so what the Houston Texans can't do is look past the New England Patriots and think about playing against Green Bay. They have to take care of business. And hopefully this win will be beautiful and not ugly.
Running their Patriots running game, they can move the football a little bit. Will that be a challenge for this Texans defense?
It will. You saw them have trouble. One thing that, we were patting the defense on the back for how well they did against Josh Allen. Great coverage, especially Derek Stingley Jr. But with the running game, they give 150 yards to James Cook and Josh Allen doing most of the damage together. Ramondre Stevenson is a tough runner, and they better tackle a little bit better and get in their run fits. Otherwise, it could be a long day.
All right, we got about 45 seconds. I know it's only Monday, but any prediction, the early week prediction, subject to change, of course. I get that. I'm going to go 31-14 Texans. So I think they're going to dominate this game.
I'm going to say 30-13. Okay. And I know this is the Price is Right, but I had to do that. I just feel like they're going to score 30 points for the first time this season. I'm talking about the Houston Texans.
Just a little bit below that, 27-6. Texans win in a romp, and the Patriots have other problems. Jabril Peppers arrested for cocaine and assault charges.
Big issues
they got
there.
Distractions in Foxborough.
We're out of time. As always, thanks for hanging out with us on Inside the Texans here on this Monday. Brad Bearfield, Big Sarge Sports. Check out his YouTube page as well. All things social media. Aaron Wilson on click2houston.com. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. So long from NRG.